Chapter 1. A Message from the Past. It had been 20 years since I last saw her. Thought. The name still carried weight in my chest, like a stone I thought I had long buried. We got married young, just 20, full of dreams and naive promises. We were each other's world, until life tested us in ways we weren't ready for. She started changing after a while, distant, colder, distracted. I didn't want to believe what my gut told me, but the truth came crashing in. She was seeing someone else, a guy from work. I remember the night she left. No fight. No goodbye. Just a shattered heart and silence. She went off with him, moved into his parents' house, started doing drugs, had a kid. And I was left alone. Broken. I didn't just lose a wife. I lost trust, hope, and years of peace. So when she added me on Facebook a few months ago, I froze. Not angry. Not excited. Just numb. And then she messaged. Chapter 2. Dinner with a Ghost. I stared at the screen for a long time before replying. Her message was short, polite, careful, almost scared. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, for everything. I'd love to take you to dinner. Understand if you decline, but I'd really love to see you. At first I said nothing. For weeks we just chatted here and there. She commented on my posts, liked every picture I uploaded. She kept saying how proud she was of the man I'd become. Told me my kids were beautiful, that I looked good. It felt surreal. Almost like watching someone perform a part in a play they wrote for themselves. I didn't trust it, but I also didn't hate it. Then she said she wanted to see me in person. Just dinner. Just talk. The night before I barely slept. My chest felt heavy with emotions I hadn't touched in decades. Anger, sadness, confusion, curiosity. She had tried to contact me over the years, letters, phone calls, but I never replied. Now I found myself ironing a shirt. Was I doing this for closure? For her? For some version of myself that never got an answer? The next evening I stood outside the restaurant. And there she was. Older, yes. But still, her. The woman who broke me. The girl I once promised forever to. She smiled. Her eyes held something soft. Remorse maybe. Hey, she said. You look amazing. We hugged. Awkward, unsure. But real. And just like that, 20 years folded in on themselves like a letter finally opened. Chapter 3. Questions that never slept. Dinner felt like stepping into a time capsule, except now we were older, weathered, and painfully aware of everything we had lost. She looked at me like she had rehearsed this night in her head 1,000 times. I just sat there, trying to figure out what I even wanted to feel. We didn't jump into laughter or comfort. We talked. Really talked. Mostly about the past. I'm not here to make excuses, she said. I just want you to understand the person I was, and who I've become. She opened up about the life she lived after leaving, how it wasn't what she thought it would be. There were challenges, wrong choices, and consequences she's still working through. She talked about her children, her recent separation, and how counseling helped her slowly untangle the past. I was carrying pain for years, and I didn't know how to love properly. You didn't deserve what I put you through. I listened. I had written questions down years ago, questions I swore I'd ask if I ever saw her again. And I asked them. Every single one. Why did you walk away? Why didn't you talk to me first? Did you ever think about me after everything? She didn't flinch. She answered every one with honesty and emotion. And then she said something that hit harder than anything else that night. No one ever made me feel as safe and real as you did. And I've always hoped, maybe one day we could start again even just as friends. I didn't know how to respond. I wasn't angry anymore. But I wasn't ready either. Closure was supposed to feel peaceful. But this was a storm disguised as calm. Chapter 4. The Invitation. When the dinner plates were cleared and the laughter had softened into silence, she reached across the table, just a little, and said quietly, "Would you like to come over? Just to talk more." No expectations. For a moment I didn't breathe. 20 years ago I would have said yes without thinking. Back then I was younger, hungrier for love, and desperate to feel whole. But now I had peace I had built piece by piece. I had scars that had long since closed, and I had no interest in reopening wounds I had spent so long trying to forget. I looked at her, really looked at her. She seemed sincere. She had changed, or at least she believed she had. And a part of me wanted to believe that too. But I wasn't sure if this was healing, or if I was getting pulled into something unfinished. "I appreciate tonight," I said carefully. "I really do. But I'm not ready for anything more. I'm still processing what this all means." She nodded slowly. I could see the emotion build behind her eyes, but she smiled through it. "I understand," she whispered. "Even this Just seeing you again means more than you know. We stepped out into the night. The air was cool, quiet. We stood there for a while, neither of us wanting to say goodbye first. Then she reached out, pulled me into a hug and kissed me gently on the cheek. No pressure. No plea. Just presence. And then she said, "Whatever happens next, I'm grateful you came." I watched her walk away, her shadow slowly folding into the streetlight's glow. And I stood there wondering, was this the end of something or the beginning of something new? Chapter 5. Peace in the Echo. I didn't sleep much that night. Not out of pain or longing, but from a strange calmness I hadn't expected. Closure wasn't loud. It didn't crash in like thunder. It arrived gently, like a breeze brushing over something long buried. Over the years, I had rehearsed what I'd say to her if I ever saw her again. But life had its own script, and somehow, it was more honest than anything I could have planned. She didn't beg. She didn't lie. She just showed up. And for the first time in 2 decades, I felt like the chapter had turned without force. We've kept in touch since that night. Casual messages. No pressure. Just 2 people, once broken, now walking the long road of forgiveness, one quiet step at a time. I don't know what the future holds. I'm not looking for anything serious. I'm not the man who needs someone to complete him anymore. I've lived, I've hurt, I've healed. And I've learned that some people come into our lives not to stay forever, but to show us the strength we forgot we had. She said she wanted a second chance. And maybe she'll get it someday. But right now, I've already won something greater. Because I met the storm again. And this time I didn't drown.